Hi, this is Momo from Round the Fire with Momo. This is going to be a short video about whether Andreas Antonopoulos is really a woke shitcoiner and whether his arguments for retaining up return are actually false. I've seen Matthew Crader and also especially others on the social media attack Andreas, calling him a woke shitcoiner. I've also seen people get upset because Andreas compared the Bible to garbage in his video. Sure, that comparison wasn't polite, but responding with personal attacks instead of addressing his actual argument about up return is pure ad hominem. It's just an attack on the person. It does nothing to refute the substance of what he's saying. And if you want to go down the ad hominem route, you're going to end up with inconsistent conclusions very quickly. I've seen many pro-filter people celebrate Nick Szabo for taking the correct instance on UpReturn. Nick Szabo is an incredible thinker. Satoshi himself said that Bitcoin was based partly on Szabo's BitGold. He's one of the old cypherpunks, just like Adam Back, but he supports the filters. And importantly, he's a crypto guy, not a Bitcoin-only guy. So would it suddenly be fair to say a shitcoiner supports keeping the UpReturn limit? Of course not. That logic collapses immediately. I'm nowhere near as smart as Nick Szabo, but I am Bitcoin only, and I'm pro removing the up return limit. I've looked at the arguments, evaluated the reasoning, and came to my own independent conclusions. I've learned a lot from Andreas, and it's incredible how many people now criticizing him for writing Mastering Ethereum conveniently forget that his Mastering Bitcoin helped raise an entire generation of Bitcoin developers. You don't get to erase that contribution just because you dislike some of his later positions. Now, I have strong disagreements with some of Andreas's views, but disagreeing with him in one area doesn't automatically make everything else he says wrong. That kind of black and white thinking only works if you believe people are either always right or always wrong. Reality is far more nuanced. To be transparent, I personally stopped following Andreas on X years ago. He presented himself as a libertarian while simultaneously advocating the mandatory treatment that shall not be named and proudly banning people by labeling them conspiracy theorists. And I remember him on Joe Rogan criticizing the Federal Reserve not for being an anti-capitalist institution that centrally allocates capital, but simply for being private. In my view, that completely misses the core issue with the Federal Reserve. But technically, Andreas is exceptionally sharp. He has helped countless people, technical and non-technical, understand Bitcoin. I'm one of them. What has always frustrated me is that he doesn't seem to appreciate why there will eventually be only one dominant store of value and why Bitcoin, not blockchain, not crypto, will be the winner. Still, none of that makes his argument about UpReturn wrong. His worldview or his language doesn't change the technical or philosophical validity of his position. His core point is important. Bitcoin already has transaction fees as a filter. Also, the block size is limited. Adding additional filters like those proposed in BIP 444 creates a dangerous slippery slope. If we change Bitcoin into a network where developers have the power to reverse transactions, they will become a single point of failure. The result is the only censorship-resistant money we've ever had will be lost. And this is also why I eventually reconsidered my own views. The recent proposal to remove the up return limit came from Peter Todd. And yes, Peter Todd also supports tail emissions for Bitcoin, a proposal that very few Bitcoiners would ever support. I'll be honest, when I was originally against removing the up return limit, that was one of the red flags for me. My first reaction was, Peter Todd, the pro-inflation guy, supports this, so it must be bad. It made me biased and made me make the wrong conclusions. I've gone on record supporting keeping the limit. You can go back and watch that video. I'll share the link here and also down in the description. But over time, looking at the reasoning, I came to the conclusion that I was wrong. And I've explained my reasoning in detail in another video, which I'll also link here and also in the description. This slippery slope is the risk that Andreas is warning about, and it deserves to be evaluated on its own merits, not dismissed because of unrelated disagreements. We should stick to debating ideas, not personalities. And on up return, the idea itself is what matters. I've seen incredibly smart people argue for keeping the up return limit, and incredibly smart people argue against it. I can't base my judgment or bias on who says it. I have to make a decision based on what they say. Eventually, whatever decision you make, there is only one way to make it count. Run your own node. And if you want to know how to run an Umbrella node on any old PC, I link my easy to follow tutorial here as well. I hope you enjoyed this short episode and I'm looking forward to hearing your comments. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and give the video a like. It really helps. If you're tuning in on a podcast app, I'd love it if you could leave a review, especially on Apple Podcasts. It goes a long way in helping more people find the show. You can also support me by listening on Podcasting 2.0 apps like Fountain or Breeze, and streaming me some sats while you listen. Feel free to zap me and follow me on Nostr too. If you'd like to send a Lightning donation, just scan the QR code or visit my Linktree. The link is in the description. You'll find more ways to support or follow my work there.